And now we're going to move on to the New York Knicks and mainly just talk about disappointing teams in general, but we'll focus on the Knicks to start off here. And it's more of how disappointing have the Knicks been, because I believe I picked them as a playoff team. And
I had them as a pseudo playoff team.
Yeah.
I was mixing them with another team, but
your Bulls pick looking good. Your Bulls pick looking good.
I told you guys.
Yeah, one thing with the Knicks though is they've been very, very, very disappointing, and I can't say that they've been very disappointing enough, because they've been very disappointing. And it's just
Sean.
It just looks like this team is pretty much
get it.
They have three teams. They have D Rose wants the ball, they have Carmelo wants the ball, and then they have Brandon Jennings and the Euro team coming off the bench. So I mean, what the Knicks are is it's weird, and I don't know if it's Hornacek and not fitting there. I don't know if it's Phil Jackson. I don't know if it's the players. I don't know if it's all of them. Well, it's just weird.
It's one of those things where we were watching a clip before we hit record of Dave was showing the ejection to Carmelo Anthony. And,
I thought you were going to talk about the horrible shooting.
No,
we'll bring that up next.
Not the Sasha Vujacic.
Even before that.
Oh,
we'll talk about it.
But the Melo, when he was getting ejected, you just see they pan over to Hornacek, and he's like looking with like his hand over his mouth, and he's looking like, the fuck do I do with this team? Like, I feel like Hornacek was like, great, I've got it. Like, I'm coming to New York, new place. And then you throw him D Rose, you throw him Joakim Noah with Melo, and now it's like,
and Brandon Jennings.
Well, Jennings, though, like Sean mentioned before the podcast, it's insane when Brandon Jennings goes, hey, maybe we should get the ball to Porzingis a little bit. Or was that you that brought that up?
Yeah, give me no credit around here.
Well, you guys agree about everything.
We do a good podcast.
It was Dave.
But
you know
really,
what that is?
It's Melo needs the ball. Yeah. Rose needs the ball.
I think Brandon Jennings realizes, who the best player on the team is, and I don't know if everybody agrees on that.
Yeah, and it's Derrick Rose thinks he's the best. Melo thinks he's the best, and Porzingis is just sitting there
Porzingis
like, whatever.
is a freaking unicorn, and they're just like, yeah, no, whatever, kid, just stand in the corner and be weirdly tall.
See, with Porzingis too, is just look at these stats: 48% from the field, 44% from the three. Not only is that better than Carmelo Anthony, that's better than every other player on the Knicks here. And you might be saying, well, he's not taking that many shots. He's averaging more three-point attempts than Carmelo Anthony is. He's averaging the most on the Knicks, and he's shooting a higher percentage
he's
here.
He's still grabbing down like 6.5 boards
because,
a game.
like you said, he's the freakishly weird tall unicorn in the corner or whatever you said so eloquently. But the thing with the Knicks is, I don't know if they've been disappointing, but I just think that people might have overhyped them too much.
The super team too?
I think I bought into them too much.
They're half dumpster fire.
I was going to say, who bought in? Not this guy. Who's got two thumbs and didn't bite in? Ricky Widmer.
I think I just bought in too much
give you credit.
to this hype because, when it first happened, I was like, oh, this is just the Knicks. They're reassembling the 2011 All-Star team.
Yep.
And then I was like, do you want this?
You can kind of see the way it could work, though.
Because if they were healthy.
Well, because you're living in 2011,
We've
Derrick
seen flashes of old
MVP.
Derrick Rose. We have seen flashes, but at the same time, you see the same ones where he's hella selfish when he shouldn't be, which is disappointing. And then, like you said, as far as Carmelo thinking, I'm still the best guy. Like this team runs through me, and not kind of giving the credit where it's due to other guys on this team and sharing the ball more. You see some cracks start to show.
I'm gonna make a statement that I think is bold, but
is this like
Warriors beat
bold.
the Jazz?
No, well, it's not a Dave bold comment. But
that was me.
Was that you?
Yeah.
Completely.
Then Dave makes the Jim Harbaugh joke. Where you been?
You guys agree? Like I said, you guys agree so much. I forget
one person.
What's your bold statement here?
Because and it depends. By the trade deadline, how bad is this team going to be? I think if you're bad enough, you look at this next team, you go, hey, Rose is gone at the end of the year.
On a max contract to somewhere else, I'm sure.
Just he's gone in general.
I know.
Let's fucking get rid of Melo too. Try to get a pick. Let's try to get something and build the team around Kristaps.
Throwing it out here.
I don't really disagree with you.
Like I said, it's me thinking I'm bold, but I'm not.
Throwing it out here. And this goes
to
against
Cleveland?
This is what goes against whatever I was saying earlier in the other segment. Clippers need a small forward. Why not?
So you're okay with Carmelo Anthony, but not Rudy Gay?
Carmelo's better than Rudy Gay.
I'm not disagreeing with you,
but
they're the same type of player, and you're going to give up more.
But at least
and
Carmelo's
you still have
better.
a chance of your entire team walking.
Unless,
but then you still have Carmelo to bounce back on. He can sell tickets.
So you get stuck in a Knicks situation?
Wait. I'm going to throw this out there. could the Clippers possibly give up like a Crawford and picks for Melo?
No,
That
who
would
the
be
fuck
awful.
wants Jamal Crawford?
The Knicks, they don't give a shit. They'll take anything because they want the
Anyways,
draft pick.
all right, hold on. Let's
No,
let's.
this Knicks team needs a lot of things. I think primarily a bench would be great because they don't got one.
You don't believe in Brandon Jennings?
They literally
You don't
have
believe
a
in
bench.
that Euro team on the bench that plays with Brandon Jennings?
I would say, go ahead, read some of those names off and tell me why they should be in the NBA
Willie
again.
Hernan Gomez. We got Sasha Vujacic. Don't hate on the side. He's got rings. That guy's got
Kuzminskas?
rings. Yeah. But anyways, the thing with the Knicks is that they've just been completely disappointing, and I think that is more of the personalities that you brought in. And I think again, it's kind of like you turn on force trades in 2K, and you're like, oh, D Rose is out there. Oh, Joakim Noah's out there. We'll package those together. We'll bring in Melo. We'll have Melo. We just created this guy in for our draft class who's 7'1" and could shoot threes. And Brandon Jennings is available. He's good at scoring. I could just take him to the hole. And then you're like, wait, shit. This team doesn't work together. I'm simming, and we can't play defense. And also, all of my other bench players are like 62 overall, and Brandon Jennings is passing to guys who can't shoot threes.
Exactly.
So
that's a pretty good analogy, yeah.
thank you, because that's pretty much what they did. And then they also, I don't just the
Sean
Knicks,
knows this because he's tried it in 2K.
I was gonna
the
say,
Knicks
I
have
feel
been
like you simmed it.
The Knicks have been very disappointing, and I don't know if it's disappointment in myself for believing or if it's disappointment that the Knicks have been bad.
Well, it's disappointment for also the city they live in.
And they know it. That's the bad thing is the fact that as they're going to bring in the former temporary head coach as a defensive coordinator because Hornacek is completely unable to get this group to work together on defense.
Hey.
And now Phil is going, yeah, they really should run more triangle. That triangle thing's pretty great. I don't know, anybody hear about that triangle thing?
Man, kids, they aren't smart enough these days to run
No,
the
he's
triangle.
trying to tell them they should run it more though.
Jill
It's like,
Faxon is
dude.
putting out a resume for head coaching.
Oh my god. Dude, it's just like if you're gonna coach. Get out, get back down to the bench and actually coach. Don't sit there and be like, guys, triangle, guys. But I'm not your coach. Listen to your coach.
I'll throw another analogy out there. He's kind of like the very passive aggressive boyfriend who's like telling his girlfriend how to do something, and the girlfriend's like, "No, let me try it." And he's like, "Okay, whatever. It's your fault. If this IKEA thing doesn't go together, then don't come crying to me." But then he's like, I know how to read the instructions. I know what I'm doing here. But whatever, if it goes on backwards, if all the legs are on backwards, then it's not my fault. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. The Knicks are disappointment, and I'm disappointed in myself for believing in them.
Well, I just think I said, it goes back to the city they play in. They want to be great. New York wants to be great, and they're not. And then the city gets mad, and they're failures.
Final question about New York, and let's move on. We'll move on to some other disappointing teams. We'll just throw those out there and kind of run through them. The one thing with the Knicks that I want to mention, and we saw that you're wearing the shirt that I'm kind of referring to here,
Go
is
Cubs, go.
is the Cubs broke this
Song is
crazy.
everywhere still.
It's great.
The Cubs broke
Love it.
this crazy streak. The crazy streak of not winning for 108 years. And I want to say the Knicks are kind of like the Cubs of the NBA, where a huge market here, haven't been able to win since 1973, only have two championships in general in 70 and 73. And I know they made to the finals in 99, but really, are they going to have to suffer for too long? Because I know that they have Carmelo right now and D Rose, and obviously we're talking about how they've been a disappointment, but they do have Porzingis. Is there any hope in the future for the Knicks for turning this around?
This year, yes, because I still understand the hype for why I was excited to watch this team. Individual talent is really good, and if you get some more flashes out of Derrick Rose looking like he did years ago, if you get some more of Carmelo like actually understanding how to play with the rest of this team, and Porzingis continues to grow, like what we're watching right now is phenomenal. Yes, they have a chance to be a playoff team. And in the playoffs, anything can happen in series. So there is hope. It is dying by the day because you watch them and you watch that bench jack up. I think they got like 7 offensive rebounds in a single possession. But you know what? That means they missed like 8 shots.
And they still didn't score on that possession.
No, they didn't. They turned it over.
They threw it in the backcourt.
That is the symbol of the Knicks this season to me.
They got closer to the other basket than they got to their own basket. Ricky, any hope? You're the Cubs fan here. Any hope that you're going to pass on the Knicks fans?
I say hit the factory reset button.
Completely.
Let D Rose walk. Trade Melo because Melo. It's been nice, but what are you doing for us? We're not going to win a championship with you. Get rid of him. With Hornacek, it's going to be interesting because is he the right coach for the job? Really, I've been saying it the last few years. I think the coach they should go after, is a guy who has a name in New York. Go after the assistant coach for the Hornets. Go for Patrick Ewing. Bring him, build a team with Ewing at the head, and that'll hopefully...
That's an interesting proposal.
But again, Phil Jackson still might be there, so that might be the problem.
Yeah, but Phil and Ewing can work, 2 90s guys.
That doesn't mean anything though.
At this point, Phil doesn't seem to like to work with anyone who's not named Phil Jackson.
Yeah, but really, I think that's the problem. There's Phil Jackson. As great as he is as a head coach, I think he should be a head coach. And I think he should be a head coach only, or he should be a GM or whatever he currently, whatever his official title is, and locked in a room. And
is he like the Cubs, Jim Hoyer? Is that who he is?
No.
Before they got
that wasn't Jim Hoyer.
Hendry. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, Jim Hendry. But no, I think it probably I don't think the Knicks have any hope anytime soon. So whoever the Cubs GM was in 1976, that's who it was.
Yeah, I don't know that.
But I think the Knicks don't have a hope right now, and I think the only way you can hope is if you get a decent draft pick soon, and you can put him next to Porzingis, because right now the only big hope in New York is that big old Latvian you got in Kristaps Porzingis. But
you said his name wrong again. It's Porzingis, Sean. One of these days you'll get it right.
They're putting together the big three. They got Porzingis, they got Hernan Gomez, and they got Kuzmiskis.
Hey,
I mean, right there. Let's just go for
Team
the
Euro.
longest. They're going Team Euro, and if they get enough letters in the last names, they're going to win some sort of an award somewhere.
Don't bash my buddy's brother, Hernan Gomez, because his brother Juan on Denver is a guy that I really like coming out of that draft. But anyways,
they all have potential. It's just this is literally the worst bunch in existence.
It's true. All right, now let's add some more disappointing teams just real quick. One team I do want to throw out is the Pacers, who are currently 4-0 at home and 0-5 on the road. And one of those losses was giving the 76ers their first win.
Holy shit.
The Pacers have been very disappointing. I don't think the season's over. I think you do need gelling, and I think that should be really said for any team, because they did bring in a lot. But I think the Pacers are a team that definitely needs to gel. Any teams that are also pretty much disappointing for you right now.
The Wizards?
The Wizards. That's fair. It's a team that we had hopes for playoff potential.
You had hopes for. I didn't have hopes for.
Bradley Beal plus John Wall should equal playoffs.
But they can't match.
If CJ and Dame can get you to the playoffs, Bradley Beal and John Wall can get you to the playoffs.
But John Wall and Beal can't mesh, and that's what we're seeing. It's two
I don't know if that's what we're seeing right now.
It's two
I don't think that's
alpha
the problem
dogs
right
out
now.
there. I just think this team, I don't think they will work together, and it's like, you know what? They don't like being... I think when I watch them, they don't even like being on a team with each other.
Yeah, I think we agree with that. I think we've touched that on multiple occasions. Another team that I do want to throw out there, a team that we have praised for their defensive prowess, are currently 28th in defensive metrics in the NBA. That's the Boston Celtics. Yep. Boston Celtics have not been good so far, and really, you can't blame Al Horford, because... something about this team. I mean, Isaiah, we know he's not good defensively, but he hasn't been bad scoring wise, but still, everyone else around that on that team has not been meshing well, and that's a team that I'm starting to worry about a little bit, because maybe it was a young 1-year splash, and I'm not blaming Brad Stevens here, because Brad Stevens did get that 1-year splash. But I think that Boston is
they're being exposed a little right now.
I think they're in trouble. Are they over? God, no. It's 6 games in their season or whatever.
They've got a lot of young guys who are going to continue to grow throughout the season.
Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential there. My disappointing team, I mean, how could it not be the Minnesota Timberwolves? We had them. I was like, oh my God, they've got all the pieces in place now. They've got the coach. Mm-hmm. This is going to be it. And what I've seen so far is the fact that, yes, Cat is good, but he is not the best center in the league like you so wrongly proclaimed him before the season started.
I said by the end of the season he would be.
Yeah, you said right now. Go back and listen to it, boy. You said right now.
By the end of the season he'll be. Whatever.
Wiggins, good, but still has some growing to do.
Yeah.
And Zach LaVine actually has stepped up, which is great, but they've taken steps back elsewhere. So this is a team that is playing a lot of minutes early in the season. I'm a little concerned for that, but again, it is the Tom Thibodeau way. He will beat the defense into them by destroying their knees.
Yeah, and one thing, too, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Wiggins is playing over 34 minutes. I think Cat is playing exactly at 35 minutes per game right now.
They're playing outrageous.
And Levine and Dieng also are over 30 minutes per game. So definitely getting worked.
And
I don't know if it's overworked.
Rubio's possibly coming back. We're recording this on Friday. He's possibly coming back this weekend. next week at the earliest.
Rubio as well. He was playing 31 minutes when he was on the team as well. The 2 games he played. So I think that's something.
They're off to a slow start.
Slow start, possibly could turn it around. Maybe we were too overhyped. Maybe we were overlooking the Lakers and overhyping the Timberwolves. But
Do we want to talk about the worst team in the league though?
The Sixers?
No, the Sixers have the process. I'm talking about the Pelicans.
Oh, well, we've talked about it before. I don't think that's a disappointment there. I think Anthony Davis is disappointed in his team, but I don't think anyone's disappointed in the Pelicans.
A wag of the finger from Anthony Davis?
Because remember, Alvin Gentry is still their head coach, who is the worst head coach in the league.